Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase my endgame Bobo Stamina Sorcerer build, updated for the Necrom DLC patch. This build is capable of pulling over 120k on the parse dummy and is viable and tailored for most group content. As with all endgame builds, it will be a group focused build that revolves around using trial or best in slot gear, so it's not a beginner or solo friendly build. Furthermore, please use these builds as a baseline as different situations and scenarios will require different gear sets and skills. With that being said, here we go. So as per usual, starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a stamina, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, as with all stam builds, I am a Dark Elf. I think Dark Elves have some of the best passives for stamina DPS. For the food, you have a few different options, but it's just going to be the standard Artame takeaway broth is the expensive option. A cheaper and almost as good alternative would be dubious Cameron Throne. And lastly, if you're parsing or just want more sustain, lava foot soup and salt rice is always the go-to. For the potions, because we don't have access to major brutality or major savagery, we're just going to be using standard essence of weapon power. Keep in mind that these potions do cost a bit to make or buy, so make sure you have 3 points from the medicinal use from the alchemy skill line to ensure that you get the full benefit and duration of the potion. For CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Exploiter, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Wrathful Strikes. Swap out Exploiter for crit damage CP like Fighting Finesse or Backstabber if you need more crit damage or don't have access to off balance. For the red tree, we have Bloody Renewal, Rejuvenation, Fortified, and Balanced Vitality. Feel free to swap out whatever you need for the red CP. This is all basically flex. So for the gear sets, we're running the same things: Pillar, Nern, Rally, One Piece Slime, Harpooners, and Black Rose on the back bar. So in the main hand, we have a Pillar Nern bow charged with a flame damage enchant. On the back bar, we have a Black Rose perfected bow infused with a weapon damage enchant. For the head slot, one piece medium slime crawl, divines, max stam. 5 pieces of Reliquant body, all divines, max stam. 1 piece harpooners waiting kill, divines with max stam as well. And lastly, for the jewelry, 3 pieces of Pillar Nern jewelry, all with weapon and spell damage glyphs, traded and bloodthirsty. So for the skills, we're going to be running Daedric Prey. This is going to cause our pets to do more damage, and also has an okay amount of damage for the explosion after 6 seconds, so don't recast this early. Lethal Arrow is our spammable. Crystal Fragments is what we're going to be using when it procs only, because we don't have the mag sustain to keep spamming this. Volatile Familiar, first pet. Twilight Tormentor is our other pet. Greater Storm Atronach is our ult. Good thing about this ult is when an ally activates the synergy, it also gives Major Berserk. On the back bar, Magnum Shot, because we're running Black Rose Prison Bow. Endless Hail, another dot, does really good damage. Lightweight Beast Trap, this is our source of minor force for the 10% crit damage. On top of that, this is the ranged version. Our 2 pets so we don't lose them when we bar swap. And lastly, Power Overload. This is also your flex spot, but if you're parsing or if you want to blow a 500 ult, this is a good way to blow it. Just make sure you have 175 left over to drop your Greater Storm Atronach, and you should be good to go. So for the rotation, we're just going to be prioritizing our dots. The priority is going to go Magnum Shot, Endless Hail, Daedric Prey, Lightweight Beast Trap, and Volatile Familiar. Whenever we don't have anything better to cast, we're going to be using our Lethal Arrow. Whenever Crystal Fragments procs, just cast that instead of a Lethal Arrow. Our Twilight Tormentor is just there for the passive damage. You can cast it once during your pre-buff stage, but past that, I wouldn't recommend it. Whenever you have Ultimate ready, just drop your Greater Storm Atronach. And lastly, Power Overload is just there for the ult dump. So for skill alternatives, your flex spot is probably running Zovgan and then taking off Trap. If you need a heal, you can morph the Twilight Tormentor into Matriarch. It is a really good burst heal, and you're not going to lose too much damage doing it. For more AoE oriented situations, you can drop Lethal Arrow and run something like Silver Shards, which is a really good AoE spammable. So for gear alternatives, first up for the bow, Black Rose Prison Bow is a very situational bow because you do have to be at a certain range to get a longer dot, because the dot scales with how far away you are from the target. A good alternative would be either Dragonstar or even Maelstrom. I really recommend Dragonstar bow because it allows you to run Poison Injection, which is also a execute as well. So as replacement for Harpooners, because Harpooners is also situational, you can swap it out for a different mythic. Something like Sea Serpent's Coil, Death Dealer, Mora are all fantastic choices. And for a monster set, instead of running a mythic, you can just go either Stormfist, Kiarnar, or Maul. I think Maul is a really solid choice. As far as gear sets are concerned, instead of running Reliquin or Pillar, you can swap it out for something like Core Riptide. Sororia is a good choice as well. Zovgan if you need another bar slot. Depths isn't bad. Briarheart and Venomous Smite are also good options as well. And if you want a super easy budget build, then Order's Wrath and Hunting's Rage as per usual, and pair it with either a monster set or a mythic. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide linked in the description for those who would prefer that instead. And as always, thank you to my YouTube members. If you want to help me support my content creation, please consider becoming a member. And as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.